Hello everyone and welcome back to the second part of the vlog for Back to the Future. Today is October 25th, and for those of you who don't know, that is the day that Back to the Future begins in the first film. It's Friday, October the 25th, 1985 when the movie actually begins. So this date is, well, the commencement of it. I should have done this last year in 2014. That way it would have been before the future, and now it all takes place in the past. Back to the Future now takes place entirely in the past. Anyway, I finished watching the last two films, Back to the Future 2 and Back to the Future 3. Duh. And I wrote down my thoughts during the films on my little clipboard. Look at my little clipboard. It's cracked down the middle because I stepped on it. I have a Band-Aid on my foot. My thoughts on Back to the Future 2. I always had a feeling that future would never happen, even as a child when I first saw it. Because the most unrealistic thing in that, in my opinion, was the fact that it was just 2015. You know, it's just 30 years. I know they based that on the fact that from 1955 they went to 1985 technology, but capitalism, slowing down of everything, all that. And as I've said before, my favorite of the trilogy is the second one. And I even have the rainbowish hat that Marty McFly Jr. wears. Well, and stop dinging everywhere. It's freezing here in Cuenca, by the way. It's like a desert. You know, it's really hot during the day, then at night everything goes into a meat chiller. A lot of people say that the first film is the best one. I personally disagree with that, because the first film is so open-ended, it feels incomplete. That's my big problem with that's why I consider it part 1, 2, and 3 all one movie, because they are a continuation of one another, and they finalize each other from end to end to end to end. To end 1, 2, 3. That being said, I did notice a few things this time around watching it that I don't think I've noticed before. Then again, I might have. The Pepsi of the future, I keep wondering, whatever happened to those props from the film? Where is the Pepsi of the future? That's a big question, isn't it? Something everyone should ask. And then try and find answer. In fact, in the DC universe, you know, the source wall on the other side, I bet that's what's written on the other side. Where is the Pepsi of the future? So that when you come out of the source wall, you start thinking, where is the Pepsi of the future? All that power and you don't know where the Pepsi of the future is? So I really start to feel sorry for Biff, the incarnation that is left in the new, improved 1985 at the end of the film, because he's such a born loser. He's like me in a way. A little bit. Maybe I'm not all hunched over and a coward that you know of. I mean, his great grandfather was great. Here I am trying to do math. Of all of this movie involves time travel, convoluted timelines, going back and forth, different points, multiple time clones existing simultaneously. And what screws me over is trying to figure out, okay, how many back to great do we go? So that's how my mind works. It really is amazing that all these films still feel fresh every time that I see them. They themselves are 30 years old now. Well, the first one is 30 years old. The other two have to wait until 2020 for them to be 30 years old. 2 and 3 have such great variations on the first. It's very formulaic, but more in a joking way, like parodying the first film feeling way rather than a recycled way. If you've never seen the films, why are you watching this? A. And B, well, there was a B. Michael J. Fox plays 4 separate roles in the second one. He plays Marty McFly. He plays old Marty McFly. He plays his son, and for those of you who didn't know, he played his daughter, his future daughter. Yeah, if you go back in the film, and Marty and Jennifer's daughter is being played by Michael J. Fox. So if you ever wanted to see Michael J. Fox in drag, for whatever reason, there you go. Go back and see that, and all your fantasies will be fulfilled, and we can just drop this subject before it gets any more creepy. In this film, old Biff goes with a sports almanac back to his past self in 1955. And something that always bugged me and will still bug me to this day, how did he figure out how to use the time machine? The DeLorean. How did he figure that out? Did he just turn everything on and say, right, I need to floor it now, instead of looking for a button? I wonder how long it took him. Like maybe he made a mental note of what time it was when he took the time machine, and like 3 weeks later he finally managed to figure out how to use the time machine, went back and then went back to that thing, and maybe that's why he was so stressed out and having a heart attack, because he was trying to rush everything. For those of you who haven't seen 3, throughout the second film, there are previews of the third film. You know, references to it before it even happens. I wonder how many of you saw that, or looking at me right now going, what is he talking about? Put your hands down, stupid. Okay, I'll put my hands down. No matter what timeline the McFlys are in, Joey's still in jail. The second film is the first time I ever saw Clint Eastwood, and the third film was the first time I ever heard the name. For whatever reason, I think my parents just don't like Clint Eastwood all that much. And that's why I grew up with John Wayne. I knew John Wayne. Back to the Future 3 has the best opening in the trilogy. Doc Brown is walking away from the fire trails, looking back, thinking, oh, great job, we've succeeded entirely. This problem's out of my life, now all I have to do is wait. And then Marty comes running up behind the street behind him. And I imagine the first thing that Doc thinks when that finally registers, and before he faints, is, good Lord, we have to do it all over again. Part 3 is quite possibly the best third-parter I can think of, and Toy Story 3 doesn't count. Stop there. It sure is in reference to its own series, it certainly is a lot better than. No, I just remember Die Hard 3. In the comments below, tell me, what do you like better? Die Hard 3 or Back to the Future 3 as a third part, not as films themselves in relation to the series. A lot of people don't like Back to the Future 3, which is really sad because it's a time travel western. How often do you see that? Never. You never see that. I don't think you've ever seen that again. At least not with that kind of budget. The premise of the third one, the reason they get stuck in the past that time, is because they run out of gasoline for the DeLorean. And how come they don't just take oil and refine it into gasoline? Surely the Doc can do that. He built a refrigerator in the Old West. Granted, refrigeration is a hell of a lot more simple process, but if you have an answer to that, let me know in the comments below. No, I saw this one the most because my mother considered it the most family-friendly of the 3. So she wouldn't rent any other one for me except for the third part. So I got to see the first one and the second one one time. And then the third part, I think I've seen maybe 30 times, 40, around there. So, but the second one left a bigger impression on me. I think that says a lot for it. These are absolutely epic movies. I love them to death. If you haven't seen them, you need to see them. It's mandatory now. The scene at the end, spoilers by the way, where they're rushing down the tracks to the ravine to launch the DeLorean to 88 miles an hour via train. Every time I see it, I know what's going to happen, obviously. It gets my heart racing, and I'm like, Are they gonna make it? Are they gonna make it? It's getting closer and closer and closer, and the DeLorean's up there, and the hoverboard on the train, and all that stuff, and I'm losing my train of thought. My train of thought is leaving me as I'm talking about trains. The irony! For those of you who need another reason to see Back to the Future 3, ZZ Top is in it. Name one other Western that has ZZ Top. You can't do it. You just can't. It's a great fit, though. Anyway, now for the part that you all have been looking forward to. Well, two of you, as far as I know. Because in the last vlog about this, I asked for all of you to tell me your Back to the Future stories, the first time you ever saw it. I told you mine in the last one, and I took a photograph of the comments section of the only people, Fox Blacksmith, who is a much more popular YouTuber than me. He's about to break 300, and we're still waiting to break 30. I have a happy life. Fox Blacksmith's story is, I'll always remember the first time I watched Back to the Future. I was young. Fox Blacksmith's story is, I'll always remember the first time I watched Back to the Future. Bear with me, I'm reading aloud. It's a lengthy process for me. I'll always remember the first time I watched Back to the Future. I was a young boy playing with my Ninja Turtles when Back to the Future came on TV. I very quickly stopped my fantastical battle with the Shredder and sat quietly. My jaw dropped, consuming the masterpiece that is Back to the Future. That's saying a lot because on Saturday morning in the early 90s, that shit was 75% advertisements for McDonald's and Nerf guns. Oh great, now I want to shoot a foam dart. Now I want to shoot foam darts at things while wolfing down a Big Mac. See, he's witty. He's used to thinking. I'm not. Purplish stuff, Sebastian the Theroid Metrist. The Metroid Theorist. Sigh. I really sincerely miss my childhood. The first time I saw Back to the Future was at the age of 7. I was sitting there with my mother and my sister in the living room. We had a bowl of popcorn and cable TV. I also had my Game Boy Color during the commercials. So, the movie started and I was amazed by Doc Brown and his sciencey things. What really caught my eye is when they went to the future, the close future. The movie was still playing. My sister sat next to me on the carpet, putting her head on my shoulder. At that moment, I knew this movie would be a treasure made to be relived. I almost said relived. Well, that's all. That's all both comments. That is all both comments, my friends. If any of you have any additional stories that you want to add now that you realize that I would have read them on camera for you with my amazing voice that sounds like a cross between a hedgehog and a chalkboard with nails going all across it. You know, maybe someone who smokes like 500 times a day, and I don't even smoke. Imagine if I did. Just leave your comments down below, and let me know if you want me to start a separate read your comments video series. It'll be a very short series because in total I think I have maybe 15 comments on the channel. So let me know if you want that to be a thing. And if any of you have any games to suggest or some anime for me to watch and possibly review in the future, which I haven't done in a while, mainly because I've been sad. And my computer has been sad. And also, I'm not even sure if I can put them on the channel because of the monetization thing. Have to be public domain. If you can think of any public domain anime, let me know about it, okay? Thank you all so much. We are 1 subscriber away from being at 30, and I have a special challenge in store for myself. Not a hot pepper or one of those leg peeling things. Wax, stupid. That's what it is called. When we get to 30, I'll make the video, then you'll know what it is. It's very special. It's going to be a challenge for myself. for 30 subscribers. And personally, I'm not looking forward to it in the slightest. I'm looking forward to the 30 subs. Having all of you there, I'm not looking forward to what I have planned, though. I can still taste it. No, I've never been a very self-confident person, or even a person who has any sort of ability to talk. Big surprise there. I'm very nervous, ADD, not very sociable. Not for a lack of trying, just a lack of understanding as to what that all is and to how it works. You guys have been amazingly patient. Most of you have actually stayed on the channel and actually commented on my videos, wanted to interact with me, which even now is fairly mind-boggling, and I have a lot of trouble processing it. I have a very acute case of depression, and you guys have been the best antidepressant I've ever taken. And I've taken a lot. So I'm glad that you can find something in my videos that I've been able to find, namely an escape from that dark place that all of us knows about, those of us with depression and can't escape. I'm glad I've been able to provide some escape for you, even if only for a minute. Thank you all. And I'll see you all tomorrow in our next part of Batman Arkham City, where I completely forget about some of the mechanics of the level and get stuck and lost and wondering why, over and over and over again, finding myself having this irrational hatred of penguins and top hats and those little things with the cigarettes at the end that the French use. Anyway, thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful life. And if you want, in the comments below, just talk. Just talk. Don't feel like you have to say anything about the videos. Well, I welcome any conversation, because I want to learn how to have a conversation with people my own age, or even younger, or older. Seriously, thank you. And hopefully as soon as I earn enough money to buy more than just ramen, I will buy more stuff and try and improve the quality of the videos. By the way, for those of you wondering why the video quality is so low half the time, it's because, well, A, I can only record in SD, and B, I record on a laptop, so it is not exactly comfortable with running two programs at once. So there's your answer. So I'm going to do my best to try and make things better for myself, you, and the channel. And hopefully we can do that together if you want to. This is an invitation. Thank you so much. Bye.